They just found his backpack in Central Park, and it was filled with Monopoly money. The absolute poetry of taking out a wealthy CEO while carrying around Monopoly money, because that is basically what these CEOs are doing, playing Monopoly, hoarding property, hoarding wealth, while they like send us straight to jail and they pass go and collect $200 is the poetry is immaculate.
The healthcare CEO situation has taken over the globe and social media. It has become one of the biggest things to happen in 2024. In case you don't already know, essentially a healthcare CEO from United Healthcare over in the United States was unfortunately shot dead was walking down the street by a man who has now been caught. Okay, the reason for the shooting currently unknown. The sympathy around the globe is pretty much at an all-time low. The whole situation is absolutely crazy. But in case you haven't been, up to speed with it, with everything that's gone on thus far, let me try and give you some, a couple of things that have gone on. But here's one video that kind of gives you a bit of insight on what actually happened.
Sorry, but you can't get me to feel bad when shitty things happen to shitty evil people. While under that CEO's leadership, they deployed an AI model that had a 90% error rate to
So obviously that's United Healthcare that she's referring to there.
automatically deny healthcare claims from people who all had families of their own that are sick, dying, and poor, trying to get life-saving treatment. 90% error rate, and they knew how flawed the system was and kept up with it because they don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't even give a fuck about him. The meeting was at 8 a.m. and they resumed the meeting after they found out he was murked on the street. They continued business as usual. Yeah, that motherfucker chose to be in his position of CEO knowing that he had millions of Americans' lives in his hands every single day and decided that the profit, whatever they were paying him, was enough to have that on his mental every single day. He didn't give a fuck. He does not give a fuck. True wrongs don't make a right, blah, 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 blah. His stack of bodies is 1,000,000 times higher than the one singular hitman. You're seriously gonna look me in the face and say, well, he had a family. So did the thousands of people that he said, oh, I actually don't care if you live or die or become broke and go into thousands of dollars of debt because I am rejecting your claim. He would literally take the money that he saved on letting you pass away and take his family on a nice vacation. What do you mean? What do you mean? How many families lost a loved one because they couldn't afford the life-saving treatment that they needed? How many? Thousands, yeah. There's no sympathy for any of those people, but we're supposed to feel bad for him? I'm so confused. You pick and choose? Another thing to be noted, there was literally a woman running out of the hotel at the exact same distance to the hitman as Brian was, and the man completely let her go. It was a targeted attack. I don't believe he's a flight risk. I'm walking around the streets and I'm not scared for my life because I don't profit off of people's pain and suffering. And he chose that position. I don't know what you want me to say. I don't know why you want me to sit here and cry about it. I'm crying for...
So there's a bit of backstory on, the guy that sadly passed away. The sympathy is not there for this guy. People are even touting this quote-unquote hitman as a national hero over on TikTok. My For You page is just flooded with this type of content. But moving forward, there is footage, so viewer discretion is advised for this part. You're going to have to really kind of bear that in mind. This is the moment that what's being touted as an assassin took down this CEO.
It's the shocking moment a masked assassin gunned down the CEO of the nation's largest healthcare company. 50-year-old Brian Thompson was ambushed outside the Hilton Hotel at 54th Street and 6th Avenue at the start of the morning rush hour. The gunman came up behind the wealthy businessman, aiming a handgun equipped with a silencer. Cops say he fired once, hitting Brian Thompson in the back. Thompson staggered and tried to get away, but the killer fired again at close range.
Some sources have told me they haven't seen a silencer on a handgun like that in forever, calling it almost like a mob hit.
He fled down this Manhattan street, Ziegfeld Alley, right by the legendary Ziegfeld Theater. Then he coolly rented a city e-bike. NYPD released these photos of the gunman buying coffee at a Starbucks 2 blocks from the hotel. He was identified by the gray backpack he was wearing. Cops nearby
Bear that backpack in mind, because there is something else that's gone on with that backpack in just a moment.
performed CPR as Thompson lay on the sidewalk.
So we got a confirmed male shot. Shot to the chest.
Rush the bus.
They on it. They coming.
We have a description on this perpetrator.
A male, 5'10", cream jacket, black mask, black gloves.
NYPD flooded the area.
We put additional resources out. We have the drones up. We have aviation out. We have K9 out.
Police released this wanted poster offering a $10,000 reward for information leading to the assassin's capture. The assassination took place less than
That's also something to bear in mind, is that reward that has been handed out.
200 yards from Rockefeller Center, where the star-studded Christmas tree lighting ceremony is scheduled for tonight. Thompson was shot as he was heading to a United Healthcare Investors Conference taking place inside the Hilton. 800 people were expected in the ballroom for the meeting, which was canceled by the company's top executive.
We're dealing with a very serious medical situation with one of our team members. And as a result, I'm afraid we're going to have to bring to a close the event today, which I apologize for. I'm sure you'll understand.
The motive for the assassination isn't known, but the healthcare executive's wife, Paulette, said he had received threats over denial of coverage.
She said that her husband was facing threats, didn't specify what kind or how many, but they had talked about the fact that he was facing threats previously.
She spoke to a Minneapolis TV station.
Our hearts are broken and we're completely devastated by this news.
Thompson had been with the company for 20 years and was appointed CEO in 2021.
And we will not rest until we identify and apprehend the shooter in this case.
So that's the situation to kind of get you up to speed on what happened. I'm sure you probably already knew about that, but here we go. Anyway, what's interesting is obviously there was no MO for this. There was no motive that can be drawn as of right now regarding this situation. But they did find this person's backpack, obviously, you know, the grey backpack that was referenced in that last video, in a park, which did end up leading to his capture. But what they found within the backpack was almost as if this person was kind of playing games, which is incredibly strange. But take a listen to this.
Find out about the situation, the more impressed I am. Deny, defend, depose on the bullet casings. I was like, oh wow, yeah, clear message, sent and received. We got it. Okay. They just found his backpack in Central Park and it was filled with Monopoly money. The absolute poetry of taking out a wealthy CEO while carrying around Monopoly money, because that is basically what these CEOs are doing, playing Monopoly, hoarding property, hoarding wealth, while they like send us straight to jail and they pass go and collect $200 is the poetry is immaculate. And then you've got the NYPD just like bragging on this guy. I feel like they're releasing so much information they might have otherwise like kept close. And they're like, anyone in the public with any information, we'll give you $10,000. And I'm like, you know that is not enticing. I don't even think you want to catch this guy. $10,000 is not enticing. No one is giving this guy up for 10 grand. And I don't know.
Bear that in mind again.
How about anybody else? But I'm caught between like, I want to know more. So like, I want to know more about this person, but at the same time, like I never wanted to be caught. All I know for sure is the more I find out, the more insane it is.
So that's the whole situation thus far, right? They found the bag, they found Monopoly money in it, you know, obviously like kind of sent the whole time this guy was clearly sending a message. That's kind of what's the idea is online. But obviously the $10,000 reward was put out as almost like a bounty on this guy's head, right? He knew the gig was up. He knew he was going to be found sooner or later. So he walks into a fast food restaurant and he goes up to the cashier and he goes, hey, you know the CEO guy that got shot? And the guy's like behind the counter, like, yeah, it's crazy. He's like, oh yeah, well, I shot him. Phone up the police. You collect the $10,000 reward. I'll just wait here. You can collect that on my head. So, you know, that's like, whoa. The whole thing's crazy, right? So the cashier phones up the police. Oh, you know the CEO healthcare guy? He got shot. Yeah, the guy's here. He's claiming to be the guy. Come and arrest him. And then the government refused to give him the $10,000. they refused to give the man the $10,000 because he didn't actually, like, because the guy handed himself over to this guy. They saw this as like almost like a coercion situation. So they were like, nah, you can't have that. So the cashier didn't even get the 10 grand, which is crazy. But so like I say, they've arrested the guy now. He's in custody. He's, his trial has kind of started. He's pleading not guilty to all charges, and his lawyer is as well. The lawyer just kind of seems to be playing games as well. Like in court, there was one instance where the judge goes, let's take a step back for a moment and talk about this. And the lawyer literally takes a step back and sits down, like almost taking everything literal. It's wild, the games these people are playing. But here's more videos about the situation.
Okay, this Luigi thing's getting weird, right? Like, it's not just me. Now, at first I thought, okay, maybe this guy's family member didn't get insurance or something, died, and he decided to get revenge by capping the CEO of the insurance company. Makes perfect sense. Totally buy that. Not that interested. So I moved on. I didn't really dig in that much. And then all of a sudden I started hearing these like reports like the backpack. But he had a backpack full of Monopoly money. Like, that's weird, right? Like, who carries around a backpack full of Monopoly money? He clearly wasn't paid that to shoot this guy. What does that have to do with anything? And he left the backpack. So he intended that backpack got found at some point. He also went to get a coffee and like flashed his face to a barista, and he flirted with her as if he wanted her to remember him. All the while, this dude finally gets caught. Everyone's like, okay, that's the end of it. But he had a YouTube channel where he had a countdown clock. It was just like a video with a countdown clock that said, if you're reading this, I've already been arrested. And the countdown clock gets to 0, and it goes to black, and it starts flashing. All is scheduled. Be patient. Bye for now. Weird, right? And then in the bottom corner, it says soon. December 11th. Like, today's the 10th. What the hell's happening tomorrow that we gotta, worry about now? And the other interesting thing is, like, Buddy got caught, but he was caught in a McDonald's. And in his YouTube channel, he had a picture of him holding a McDonald's Happy Meal. Makes you kind of wonder. And then on top of all of that, there were more videos scheduled to come out, but they were deleted. So it makes you wonder, like, okay, well, what else was this dude trying to say? Was he exposing something? Like, it had to be something big. This dude just put his entire life down the shitter, and all for something that he really believes in. But we have no idea what this thing is yet. But I have a feeling we're going to find out. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm really loving this 2024 season finale. We have World War III going on between Russia and Ukraine and Israel and everybody. And then we have, like, mysterious drones or possibly aliens. Who the hell knows anymore? Why not? Let's throw in this crazy conspiracy with, shadow people like trying to expose the CEOs of health organizations. I'm down. Let's do it. Let's go. Season finale 2024.
It is crazy, and all we've got is speculation to run with. That's all we've got. We can't, like, there is so little to work with, and so much that's gone on. You think about the backpack, you think about the Monopoly money, like the signs on the shell casings. There's so much to this that it has to be more than just a disgruntled healthcare person,
The police claim that Luigi Mangione, the alleged assassin of the United Healthcare CEO, was shaking and nervous when they found him in a Pennsylvania McDonald's, but don't let them fool you into thinking that he didn't want to be caught. He was caught intentionally. Because why would a highly intelligent, Ivy League educated, valedictorian who planned out every little detail of this assassination make such sloppy mistakes? Unless they weren't mistakes. They were part of this masterful art that he is presenting to the world. Most people know by now that the police found a backpack filled with Monopoly money a few days ago that they believe to be his. And then today, he was found in a Pennsylvania McDonald's with all incriminating evidence on him, including a fake ID with the address 128 Sherman Avenue, an address that doesn't actually exist, but symbolizes the Sherman Act of 1890, which makes monopolies illegal. He was found in Pennsylvania, where the Monopoly game actually originated when Charles Darrow created it in the 1930s before selling it to the Parker brothers, who then made it one of the most popular board games of all time. And the Pennsylvania Railroad and streets in Pennsylvania are on the original Monopoly board. So why McDonald's? Well, in the 1980s, McDonald's began the McMillions Monopoly game, a highly successful marketing strategy in which food items came with peel-off Monopoly game pieces that could be redeemed for free food, cars, vacations, and cash prizes of millions of dollars. This promotion increased McDonald's sales by 40%, but it was riddled with fraud and a huge scandal. A former cop in Florida who worked at the companies that produced the Monopoly game pieces used his position to steal the winning pieces and distribute them to his friends and family. He then partnered with a New York mobster and later with a bunch of other rich people to manipulate the game and ultimately steal $24 million. This is ironic because McDonald's has historically been considered a restaurant that poor people eat and work at. Yet it was rich people who corrupted the game and stole all the money that those poor people had high hopes of winning. And even more ironically is that McDonald's itself represents this inequity because it exploits poor people for their labor and money, feeds them addictive bullshit that is slowly killing them while raking in hundreds of billions of dollars. Every part of this crime, including getting caught, was planned to a T, and it is incredibly artful and poetic. And this is a crime that I believe will change American history.
Currently has. It truly has. The whole situation, everyone is enthralled by this. And the thing is obviously when you think of someone being shot and murdered, you don't think of them as the good guys. You don't think of them as the ones that you tout to win. They're not the ones that you want to win. Yet in this instance, people are completely rooting for this guy. They are completely enthralled by his story. They want him to, get away with this, and they want this to be this. They want this to be a message, just like the shooter himself. Last video, I promise.
Oh my God, you guys, I just figured something out. So someone was saying about how they think Luigi Mangione is playing Monopoly because the fact that he was caught at the Pennsylvania Railroad, and that's the thing on Monopoly, and you collect money. So he went through the park, which is like, free parking essentially. But then I thought about the fact that 286 kept popping up a lot, right? 286 Twitter posts, 286 for the Pokemon, right? And then I thought, oh my God, you could roll doubles in Monopoly. But what happens when you roll 3 times 3 doubles? 2, 8, 6. You go to jail. Which means not only, I don't think he's playing by himself, number one. Number two, he did this on purpose. He wanted to go to jail. And I don't necessarily know yet about like the numbers on the board or where it starts or where he gets to. But basically, he rolled 3 times and then he went to jail. So there's way more to come on this situation. And I'm so excited. I can't wait.
What do you guys think of this whole situation? Of course, it is just mind-boggling. Like my brain has been blown the past few days just listening to the conspiracies and listening to everything that's gone on. This is not the end. This is going to go on for a very long time, I think. But I am very intrigued to hear what you guys have to say. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below while you're down there. Be sure to jump to get the hell out of that like button, subscribe if you're new. Any updates, I will let you guys know. And until next time, I'll speak to you later. Peace.